Good evening, friends, and welcome to another edition of the Artist Spotlight Show, being brought to you this evening by Blue Shamrock Music, Mr. Stephen Brady, Tiny Events Incorporated. When it comes to events, we have got you covered. And also, Rise Up Family Network with DeAndre the Torch Robinson. Make sure you join he and I on Facebook as we do our sports shows. When it comes to sports, we've got you covered. And on tonight's show, we're with you every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. right now on our Music Dreams USA Radio YouTube channel. And so if you have not subscribed to our Music Dreams USA Radio YouTube channel, please take a few moments to do that. We'd love to have you join us. And now, without any further ado delay, we've got an amazing artist to be joining us here in just a moment. Her name is August Lane. And she's an amazing artist. We're going to find out about her. We're going to find out how did her musical journey start? What are some of her favorite songs? What does she love most about the music industry? We're asking those questions and much more. So without any other further ado delay, Miss August Lane, welcome to the Artist Spotlight Show on Music Dreams USA Radio. How are you this evening?
I'm very well. Thanks, Russell. How are you?
We're doing great. Super excited to have you on the show. And so let's open up the show. And can you maybe share with our listeners are watching now, we'll be watching later. Can you maybe share with them, how did your musical journey begin? And where are you right now in that journey?
Yep. I think like most people, it comes at an early age. So for me, singing was my passion from being really young. I was looking back on some school reports not that long ago, and it's really funny because, where the teachers write the little sections, it was like, August is always happy to sing, always singing, always happy, always wanting to get into musical instruments, always wanting to be in the school productions, etc., etc. So it started at an early age through that, and I guess through musical influences through family. Being brought up with Motown and Diana Ross and the Supremes and, all the big names like that. So for me at school, going through musical productions, straight through into high school and starting to learn musical instruments, and then getting into those bigger productions at high school as well. When I left school, I joined a band. So we had a covers band and we used to tour through the northwest of England. So that's where I'm originally from, live in Australia at the minute. And we had an amazing band. So I was a vocalist there. And we toured for a few years all around the pubs and clubs in England. And I had another band at the time, which was more of an indie band. We just played originals and we did a little tour of Amsterdam with that one as well. So there's always been some kind of, musical thing that I've been involved with ever since being, as far as I can remember, really. And then moving to Australia, kind of finding my own voice and my own kind of way through music and, starting to write my own songs. And then, just here I am with an EP and a single out. I worked with an amazing producer on the Gold Coast who really believed in what I was writing about in my songs. And we worked together over a few years. It took us probably about 3 years to complete the EP, which is a really long time for 5 songs. But we wanted to make sure that we got it right, and that when it was right for us, the right time to release. So so that's a bit of a quick snapshot tour of the musical journey.
Let's talk about your album then. I just heard you say that it's taking you 3 years to put that album together. How did that come together? I mean, when I heard you say that, you really want to pick the right songs for the album. What does your songwriting look like, and how did it make it to the album that you chose?
For me, my songs are stories. So the real things that have happened in my life, or, it's anything that I'm passionate about, I write about. So I actually turned up to my producers, just me and my guitar, and I said, here I am, I want to record a song. And then we just started from there. I guess the process for me is different with everything that I write. So, sometimes it might be, I have some lyrics come to me, or I've got a bit of an idea, or it might be a little bit of a tune. It's really bizarre. And it always happens in the most inconvenient at times as well. It's always when I've just gone to bed, you know, and I'm winding down for the night, and it's like, oh, I've got this idea, now I've got to get out of bed and record it before I forget it, and it's gone forever. Yeah, I'm sure lots of people like that as well. Or when I'm driving in the car. It's always when I'm driving as well. So it's like, oh gosh, I've got to quickly put the recording button on in my car and just sing these songs or put these lyrics down. And Siri's your best friend with that. Siri, can you just write these lyrics down? So it's really funny how that comes about. But I guess with the EP, with the songs, I just wanted it to mean something to me, and I guess it's hard when you're putting your own experiences down, because you want it to be relatable to your audience. So one of the songs I've written, that my single, is about a really close friend who was going through a really tough time, and I think that one was the most prominent song on the album, because so many people can relate to it. You know, we have a lot of people out there who are going through mental health problems, you know, going through sticky situations. Everybody's got their own things that they're going through, but not everybody thinks, you know, everyone thinks that they might be on their own. Not everybody thinks that there's other people out there going through the same thing. So I just wanted to create something that people can relate to, people can listen to, and people can enjoy as well.
No, since we're talking about your album, other than the song you just told us about, are there any other songs on the album that really stand out to you?
I wrote a song about my dad. So my dad isn't my biological dad, but he is my dad. And it's called Step Up, and it's just a song about him coming into our lives and stepping up and being a dad when he didn't have to. You know, he took on my mum with 2 kids at the time, and he's been there through everything throughout my life. So it's a really kind of poignant song. And, you know, the first time I listened back to it in its entirety, when it was finished, I got tears in my eyes, and people who have listened to the song, you know, the feedback from it is like, oh my gosh, I got really emotional listening to that, because it's, you know, it's our journey as a family, really. And obviously how important he is to me. So that's a really special song for me as well.
That's awesome. And so let me ask you this question. Now that we're talking about your album, can you maybe share to our listeners that watch now, will be watching later, how can they get in contact with you, and how can they download that amazing music of yours?
Yeah, so I'm on all the usual social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And you can download the music from all of the streaming platforms as well. So Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, I'm on all of them. So it'd be great if everybody could have a little listen and give me some feedback. You know, that's what it's all about. I want to be able to, you know, communicate with the audience and get some feedback. And yeah, it's always good to know who's listening to music as well.
That's awesome. And yeah, I actually had the opportunity. I actually Googled you because you know, Steven's email he was having issues with his email today. Yeah. So I actually Googled you and I checked out some of your stuff. I'm like, wow, I can't wait to get her on the show tonight.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, we forgot to tell you, when you come to the Music Dreams USA Radio Artist Spotlight Show, expect the unexpected. Yeah. So where are you right now in your musical journey? Are you kind of like content where you are right now, or what are you looking to do to move forward with your journey?
I think I'm always looking for that next step. I'm still writing at the minute, so I've been writing quite a lot of new material, which I'm really excited about because it's quite upbeat and yeah, it's really fun. So it's quite different to my EP, even though a lot of it's, you know, well, it's all still true, but it's more of an upbeat kind of feel. So I would like to put, instead of it just being me and my guitar, I would like to put a band together. So that's my next steps. I'd love to get a band together and go out on the road and do some touring and some gigs, and, you know, try and increase the audience that I have as well, and outreach to people who, you know, it's hard to get your name out there, isn't it, when there's so many other people doing the same things and there's so many amazing artists out there. So it's like being a little fish in the big sea. So, you know, you've really got to make waves to be able to get your music out there to people.
You know, that's a great point. And, you know, I've been in the music business for a long time as well. And I can actually tell you, you know, when I started, it's like no one knew who the heck I was, right? But it's all about networking. Yeah. You know, you gotta get your name out there. You get an opportunity. You got to take advantage of the opportunity. because in the music business, I know this to be true. You only, during your span in the music industry, you only get so many opportunities. The question is though, when you get the opportunities, what are you going to do with them?
Yep.
Are you going to take them and run, or are you going to just sit there and, okay, well, if it works out, it works out, whatever the case may be. So that's what kind of like helped us out, just networking, taking care of people, and just being there for them. And so that's always been something that we've always done. And so what do you think about, since we're talking about the music industry, what's some of the best advice that someone's ever given you in the music industry?
I think it's just to be your authentic self. There's only one you. You don't try and be like anybody else, and it's good to be aspirational, to look at what other people achieve and how they get there, but always stay true to yourself. I think that's the best advice that I've been given, and it's something that I pride myself on, and you can see that through my songwriting too, that I am being my authentic self. And I don't think it's similar to things out there. So it's I think it's really important for that, because I think a lot of people, as you say, you network, you get to meet a lot of other people, and I think especially with young artists as well, they can get heavily influenced by people around them. So I think it's really important to be able to stay true to yourself, stay true to your vision, stay true to your songwriting and where you want to go with that as well.
Have you met anybody famous in the music industry?
No, I don't think I have. No.
Well, we're going to hook you up.
That'd be great.
By the way, that's free of charge.
That's one of the services that you provide. That's great. No.
Well, I will tell you though, let's talk about Stephen Brady and Blue Shamrock Music. I can honestly tell you, with Blue Shamrock Music, I mean, they have a lot of connections. Yeah. They deal with a lot of big time stars, and so I would encourage you, to get with Stephen, and and have him, set some meetings with artists, and even if it's just like getting together and throwing, bouncing some ideas off each other. Or, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I know that to be true. That Blue Shamrock Music, we've been around 4 years. We've interviewed different artists each and every week.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it is that those artists we interviewed like 4 years ago, they still remember us.
Yeah.
And so just a little bit of advice for you there. Take advantage of the opportunities, reach out to Stephen. And speaking of him and Blue Shamrock Music, how did you guys connect?
So through word of mouth. So obviously, Stephen and Blue Shamrock have an amazing reputation. So other artists that I know through connections through our GTM Music Studios in Bow Desert, and other local amazing artists that we've got, and we have some fantastic artists there. So just through them and through word of mouth. And Stephen's been absolutely amazing. I can't believe, all the platforms that he's been able to put me out on, and all the feedback that I'm getting as well has been fantastic. So, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to get there without him and Blue Shamrock. So I'm appreciative. And for people like yourself, Russell, and your amazing show too, I really am very appreciative of everyone's support.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. And by the way, we're going to have you back for part 2. Part 2 is on its way.
Absolutely.
So what do you like about the music industry? Is there anything you'd like? And let's add a second part to that question. So the question would be, what do you like about the music industry? If there's one thing that you can change about the music industry, what would that be?
I like the versatility of the music industry. There's always new music coming out, and it's not all sounding the same. There's a lot of different artists out there with a lot of different visions, very, very creative people. So that's what I really like, that there's so much diversity out there because everyone has different tastes. So just with whatever's been out there, and look, I love music dating back to the 1920s. I love all music. So for me, it's been fantastic. What was the second part again, Russell? Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. What if there's one thing in the music industry you'd like to be changed? What would that be, and why?
I think the way that people are portrayed on social media. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of artists coming out through social media, and I think social media is amazing at doing a lot of things, but also I think that, you know, a lot of these artists who are under the spotlight get a lot of negativity from social media too. So I think, you know, society plays a role in, you know, having this appearance of how people should look, how people should dress, you know, how people should sound. So if someone's a little bit different out there, it might not conform to what people think is, you know, acceptable, you know, for society and for social media. So I really would like people to be a bit more accepting of everybody, because I think it's, especially with young people who, you know, they know social media a lot better than us, I'm sure, but they're the ones who are using it all the time, so they've grown up with that generation of having that social media there where we didn't. So, you know, it's great that it's easily accessible and you can access music a lot easier these days, but I also think there's a really big dark cloud over it as well because of all the negativity that comes from it. So yeah, there's a lot of, I think it's plays on a lot of young people's mental health. So that's the only downside, I'd say.
You know, I love hearing you say that. And as I was listening to your feedback to that question, there's one artist that came to mind right away. Take a guess who you think I'm talking about. He's a country artist, and he had a rough life, got out of that situation, and used music to turn his life around. Mm-hmm. He's a country artist. His name is Jelly Roll.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so as I was listening to you, right, I was actually getting chills. Just think about Jelly Roll. Yeah. This guy was in jail. Yeah. The tattoos, overweight, in jail, and looked like his life was just, it was never going to come back. And all of a sudden, he gets out of jail. He gets an opportunity in music. And at the time where he got the opportunity, he wasn't, you know, Don Juan. You know what I mean? He just, he was who he was. But he used his music and to get his music out there. And now all of a sudden, look where that guy is now. Where he started to where he's at right now. Yeah. I mean, I tip my hat to Jelly Roll and any other artists out there who are in that situation or maybe close to that situation. You are right, though. It used to be in the music industry. Yeah, you have to have a certain look and you have to, be in a clique and you have to have a certain look and blah, blah, blah. But I think the music industry is really changing now where they're actually, and I think Jelly Roll had a lot to do with that where, the music industry is like, hey, wait, this guy was no Don Juan. We give this guy an opportunity. Now he's killing it.
Yeah, and it should be about.
Why can't we do it to other people? Yeah, why can't we do it to other people, right?
Absolutely.
And so, I'm glad you brought that up. That was a great call out.
Yeah, thank you. But no, Jelly Roll is amazing, and like you say, there are more artists coming out now, and I think it's absolutely fantastic that that we are hopefully moving more that way.
Absolutely. So, when you're not doing music, do you have any hobbies?
Yeah. I have a family, so I like spending time with my family. I go to the gym. To be honest, music is my whole life. So, I'm always, playing instruments or writing. But yeah, I just love to get out there. We live in a beautiful part of the world in Australia. So usually blue skies every day, but not today. So it's very nice to get out into nature and just kind of reset and just enjoy what we have. Because I think sometimes we can get a little bit lost in what we're doing, every single day. So it's nice to take some time to yourself and just relax. Yeah.
So if I was going to come to one of your shows, what type of show could I expect?
Oh, I think that I would love for the audience to get involved in things. So I'm a little bit of a talker. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I think it's great to get, make it electric, make people enjoy what you're doing. So I think it's just going to be fun. It's going to be energetic, but also, just kind of really resonate with the audience and get involved with them. because that, you know, you're doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for the fans and for the people who are around you too. So yeah, fun. That's what it is.
We love
Yeah,
fun here.
exactly. That's what it's all about. Hey, it'd be boring if there was no fun.
That's right. If you're not having fun, there's something going on right now.
Yeah, and it's a completely. I feel like I'm a different person when I'm on stage. I don't know what it is. It's like it's a different version of me, and you forget about everything. You forget about your worries. You forget about, you know, everything else, and you're concentrating on the music, and you're in the moment. There's no feeling like it. There really, really isn't. So, and I think, and I get enjoyment from watching other people like that on stage as well, where you can see they're absolutely enjoying it. So for me as a participant, I enjoy it more when I see artists enjoy what they're doing on stage.
You know, since we're talking about artists, how would you describe yourself as an artist?
Look, my music, I guess my music is evolving, so it's kind of more of a pop country kind of vibe. As I say, there's a lot of storytelling in there. My songs can be quite different as well. So like I say, I can have some upbeat ones. But yeah, just like I say, just wanting to connect with the audience. That's what my music's all about.
You know, I also wondered, you know, as an artist, you have so many songs that you write and you put together, and you get on stage. How do you remember to sing all those songs word for word?
I think obviously with practice, and I think being in bands when I was younger really helped. So I remember when we were doing the covers band. So it's, you know, we did a lot of pop music. So it's songs that I already knew, but I used to have some of the words on the bottom of the stage sometimes for those that I wasn't really too comfortable with, or too, you know, didn't really know the songs very well. But look, doesn't matter if you make a few mistakes. Nobody will know, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that you're not whistling Dixie on
We've
that
all,
one.
yeah, we've all been there. You just cover
Trust
it
me,
up
we do
with
the
some,
morning show. We made some mistakes.
yeah, human nature.
Yeah. What is some, since we're on the subject of artists and all that good stuff, you know, as I mentioned earlier in our show, you know, we have artists that watch now that we'll be watching later. Do you have any bit of advice that you can share with them that maybe they can get to where you are right now? You're doing interviews on all these major platforms. How can they get to where you are right now?
You've just got to put the work in. So, you know, you look at these really big artists who are out there, and you listen to how they got to where they got. And it's literally, that's all they're doing. That's all they're concentrating on. That's where they're putting all their energy. You've got to put your heart and soul into it. And you can't expect anything to come to you if you're not putting anything out there. So it's really about working really hard, honing in on your craft, making sure, you know, and getting feedback from other people as well. If like everybody has strong points in what they do. So if you feel like, you know, your lyrics aren't as a strong point as you're playing, then maybe have a look to see if you can collaborate with any other artists or get some feedback. Or, you know, I think it's really important to be able to do that, because I think it's easy to be able to sit in our little silos and think, yeah, this sounds good, but we're very precious of our work as artists and what we do. So I think it's really important to get that kind of unbiased feedback as well. So yeah, definitely just work your hardest.
Are there any artists that you look up to? Who are they and why?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
Give me your top two.
Oh, top two. That's really.
Or give me top one.
Oh, look, I am a really big Taylor Swift fan, and I think that's controversial. People are like, oh, but you can't not be in awe of what she's achieved. She started off when she was so young. She's worked away and worked her ass off to get to where she is. I actually went to the Eras tour last year, and I have never, ever experienced anything like that in my life at a concert. And I've been to a lot of concerts. Just the way that she was able, like there was 80,000 people there, and just the way that you felt connected to her as a fan with all the other 80,000 people there, it was just a beautiful atmosphere. You know, we were trading friendship bracelets. Everybody was singing their heart out. It was electric, honestly. I still get goosebumps now thinking about it, because there was nothing quite like it, and I don't think there ever will. And I think that'll go down as one of the best tours in history, just because of what she achieved. And she's such an inspirational person. And when you actually sit down and listen to her song, she's a beautiful songwriter. You know, she's so articulate in what she says. So I think she would have to be up there for me.
That's awesome. Another question for you here as we wind down our show. And again, thank you so much for being on our show. Again, we're being brought to you by Blue Shamrock Music and Mr. Stephen Brady. Also, Rise Up Family Network with DeAndre the Torch Robinson. Make sure you join he and I on the sports show. You can check us out on Facebook. And also, Tiny Events Incorporated. When it comes to events, we've got you covered. We got the lovely Miss August Lane with us here on tonight's show. And can't thank her enough for being here. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with our audience?
I would love to increase my fan base, so I'd encourage everybody to have a little listen to my music, and if you like it, then share it. That would be absolutely amazing. And I just want to say thank you to Blue Shamrock Music for putting me in touch with you, Russell, and for all your support today. I really appreciate it. And to anybody listening, please follow me on all the socials, and yeah, have a listen and see what you think.
So speaking of your socials, let's share with our audience, where are some of the socials you're on, and how can they specifically get in contact with you?
Yep. So Instagram, August Lane, Facebook, August Lane, and TikTok, August Lane as well. So if they want to get in contact, absolutely, you can send messages through there. I'm happy to engage with fans, because that's what I'm all about. I want to be able to connect with my fans. So absolutely, would love to hear people's feedback as well.
Well, it's so nice to meet you, and we wish you nothing but the best as you continue with your music journey. And again, thank you for hanging out with us here on the Outer Spotlight Show with Blue Shamrock Music and Music Dreams USA Radio. And again, you take care of yourself. We're going to have you back on part 2. And, again, appreciate your time this evening. And thank you for the interview.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon. I look forward to it.
Yes, ma'am. All right, that's going to do it for our show. If you are an upcoming aspiring artist, make sure you reach out to Blue Shamrock Music and Mr. Stephen Brady. And just like August Lane, he can take care of you as well. And again, make sure you reach out to him. And make sure you check out our morning show Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Right here on Music Dreams USA Radio. We are going to play one of August Lane's songs, and that will actually open up my morning show tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. Zany characters, comedy, and just some great music. And in this show right here, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. right here on the Music Dreams USA Radio YouTube channel. Until the next time, be safe. And thank you so much for watching this evening, and have a wonderful rest of your night. It's Music Dreams USA Radio, wishing you and yours a pleasant good evening.